South Africa didn't win this World Cup match with a goal. They won it with a header nobody clapped for. 2 minutes in, Min-Jae Kim, Bayern Munich, one of the best defenders alive, rises above everyone at a corner and connects clean. The net is open. The goal is gone, except it isn't. A boot gets there first, not the goalkeeper's, a left-back's. If that ball goes in, South Africa doesn't make the round of 32. There is no Thapelo Maseko winner. There is no celebration. There's elimination on home soil. In the second minute, one man stopped all of that. And by full time, almost nobody was talking about him. Here's why this moment matters more than the scoreline says. South Africa versus South Korea wasn't just a group game. It was win or go home. Both sides arrived needing a result to guarantee passage to the knockouts. No margin for a slow start. No margin for an early concession. And early concessions are exactly what kill campaigns like this. Go down in minute 2 against a team with Kim, with Lee, with players who've operated at this level for years. And the psychological weight of that goal follows you for 90 minutes. So when we talk about Maseko's strike as the difference maker, that's true on paper. But football doesn't happen on paper. It happens in moments that don't make the score sheet. And the real difference maker happened 88 minutes before anyone scored. That's the story tonight isn't telling you. So we're telling it. Let's rebuild the moment, second by second. Early corner, South Korea's side. The delivery is good, not great, good, but it finds Min-Jae Kim unmarked at the back post. This is a center back who plays Champions League football every season. When he gets a free header from 6 yards, the conversion rate on that chance, against most defenses on earth, is close to automatic. He connects, clean strike, on target, and it's Aubrey Modiba, South Africa's left back, doing a right back's job in that split second, who reads the trajectory, gets across, and clears it off the line. No camera angle replays that 40 times after the match. No highlight package opens with it. Highlight packages open with goals. They don't open with the absence of a goal that should have happened. Here's the brutal stat nobody puts on a graphic. Teams that concede inside the first 5 minutes of a must-win World Cup match have historically gone on to lose or draw at a significantly higher rate than teams that don't. Early goals don't just put you behind. They change how a team plays the next 85 minutes. More cautious, more rushed, more error-prone. Modiba didn't just stop a goal. He stopped the psychological collapse that goal would have triggered. But this is where it gets interesting, because what Modiba did in that moment tells you something about why South Africa won this game at all. Let's challenge the assumption you probably walked in with. The assumption is simple. South Africa won because Maseko scored a clinical second-half goal. Clean narrative. Striker delivers. Team advances. Send the clips. But compare that to what actually happened across 90 minutes. South Korea created chances. Kong-in Lee tested the South African goal. Relebohale Mofokeng had his own look from the edge of the box that went wide. This was not a one-sided match where South Africa dominated and the goal was inevitable. This was a tight, low-tempo, even contest where one moment in either direction could have flipped the entire result. In games like that, the team that wins isn't always the team that creates more. It's the team that survives more. Modiba's clearance is survival. It's the kind of contribution that doesn't show up in shots or key passes or any stat graphic broadcasters put up at halftime. It shows up only if you go back and watch minute 2 with intent. And here's the contrast that should bother you. If Kim's header goes in, South Africa is chasing the game from minute 2 against a side that knows how to sit on a lead. Does Maseko's goal even happen the same way? Does South Africa play with the same freedom in the second half? Almost certainly not. One defensive action, in minute 2, restructured the entire emotional arc of the match. That's not a footnote. Now here's the part that should actually frustrate you if you care about how football gets covered. Aubrey Modiba is not a name being trended tonight. Search his name and you'll find squad lists, maybe a transfer note, nothing close to the coverage Maseko is getting for his goal. That's the system working exactly as designed. Goals get the headline, goals get the highlight reel, goals get the YouTube thumbnail. But ask yourself what actually changed the outcome of a win-or-go-home World Cup match more. A clinical finish in space South Africa had already earned, or a recovery clearance that prevented the entire platform that finish was built on. This is the emotional core of tonight's story. Football builds its mythology around the player who finishes the move. It almost never builds mythology around the player who keeps the move possible in the first place. Goalkeepers get some credit for this. Outfield defenders almost never do, especially not for a clearance that happens in minute 2, before most casual viewers have even settled into the match. South Africa advances to the round of 32 tonight. Thapelo Maseko's name is the one going into the headline, but somewhere on a flight home or in a locker room debrief, someone on that South African coaching staff is rewatching watching minute 2 and knowing exactly how close this campaign came to ending before it started. Now here's what nobody is talking about. We treat match winner as a single-person title. One name, one moment, one hero. But that framing is a lie. Football tells itself constantly, and tonight is proof of it. If you genuinely rank moments by how much they swung this result, Modiba's clearance outranks Maseko's goal. Not because the goal didn't matter. It absolutely did. It was the actual winning margin. But because the goal only existed in a world where South Africa wasn't already down 0-1 and playing from behind. Modiba is the reason that world existed at all. So when broadcasters and channels frame this as Maseko sends South Africa through, they're not wrong. They're just telling half the story, and they're telling the easier half, the half with a ball hitting a net, the half that's simple to put on a thumbnail. The harder, more accurate story is that South Africa's World Cup survival came down to a left back making the right read in the second minute of a match nobody will remember beyond the scoreline. That's not a popular take. That's not even a comfortable take if you're a striker who wants the spotlight, but it's the true one. Here's where I land, no hedging. Thapelo Maseko scored the goal that sent South Africa to the round of 32. Aubrey Modiba is the reason there was still a game left to win when he did. If you're building the story of this match around one player, you build it around the one who didn't let the match get decided before it had really begun. That's Modiba, not the finisher. The man who refused to let the finish become irrelevant. Football will keep handing its trophies of attention to whoever touches the ball last before it crosses the line. But the matches that actually matter, the ones with no margin, the ones that end careers and tournaments in a single night, those are decided earlier than the highlight reel admits. Minute 2 decided this match. Everyone just watched minute 55 instead. If this analysis sounds wrong to you, come argue it in the comments. I'll be reading and I'll be replying.